Hi, thanks for tuning in. I'm Mary Carmen Flores, and I work at the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force. And the Metropolitan Chicago Task Force is a nonprofit organization who works to help fight disparities against breast cancer for women in Chicago, especially increasing the resources for underprivileged women in Chicago. So, like I said, our organization is the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force, and we help women around Chicago try to get resources at different hospitals. We have affiliations with 18 different hospitals around Chicago to help women who can't have access to mammogram screenings or diagnostics get those resources to prevent death rate mortalities. In Chicago, the death rate mortalities are higher than any other city with diverse populations such as New York or San Francisco. These rates are detrimental for our resources provided for them. And if you go over to our website, and it's chicagobreastcancer.org, and you can explore the different resources that we serve. If you go to the events calendar, you can see what our community navigator does, all these great activities around Chicago. And if you continue to explore the website, it'll say all the different resources that we provide, and it'll say all the organizations that we have. So the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force was founded in 2008, and you can see all the history of who we are, where our statistics come from. So again, our organization was founded in 2007 because a paper came out stating that the death rate mortality was higher in Chicago than any other city. And from these given resources that we offer now, we have been able to decrease the disparity rates by 37%. And from these decreased rates, we have been able to save lives of many women around the country. And so all this is over on the website again. And you can take a look at our different members, and this will say who does what in the organization. And we have a data coordination. Actually, we have a caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. At what age is it appropriate for a woman to start getting mammograms?
Yes, so we recommend that you would start getting a mammogram at age 40. There's a lot of different controversies over what age you should start at, given in this past a couple of months in October, the guidelines changed, but according to the statistics we have in Chicago, those are pertinent to women of color that should start at age 40. And after age 40 or before age 40, you can get a mammogram depending on if you have a symptoms or family history. If you have symptoms, you will probably get a diagnostic mammogram depending on what your doctor recommends or your family physician. And then after that, our resources go from pre-screening, so we help the women access the resources that they need, and we help follow them through their treatment and if they're diagnosed, and all the way through survivorship. So we have partnerships with a lot of survivor programs, such as Gilda's Club and other resources at Rush Medical Center, and those are often visited again through our website. If you just continue to go back to the website, you can look at the resource library and view the different publications or the projects that we are Okay, and we have a caller on the line. He's having some technical difficulties.
Yes, hi. I know you were talking about the mammogram, but I had a question regarding when you should have your other checkup, which is the pap smear and stuff. And I heard that it was every year. I heard that it was every year, but I now heard that it's every 3 years.
Yes.
So what's the recommendation?
So the current recommendation is to have it every 3 years. And again, we also have resources for women who don't have insurance or access to those clinical services. And we often refer out to these clinics, which you can get them either for free or at a reduced rate, depending on income status or other statuses that may qualify. And we have another caller on the line.
Hi, is there a fee associated with your organization?
Right. So for our organization, for mammograms, there is no fee. Like I said, we're partnered with 18 different hospitals around Chicago to help you get the free mammogram. The reason for it to be free is that either these hospitals donate or we get them at reduced prices through our organization. And this is to help reduce those disparities that women face in accessing these services, because if they can't access the services, then it's harder for them to get treatment and they're diagnosed at a later age or later state, and it's often harder to treat, causing the increased death disparity rates. For pap smears, it's actually different because it's outside clinics, and that just depends solely on your income and other statuses, such as if you're married, if you have insurance. A lot of those clinics, we help navigate also women who have insurance. So our facilities have 3 navigators, 2 frequent the uninsured women, and then we have one who is specific for insured women, especially with all the resources that have come in with the Affordable Care Act. A lot of women don't know which insurances they have or what plan exactly that is. So our navigator actually helps them try to figure that out, try to figure out what their plan is, and call them with their insurances on the line to help see what hospitals are actually in their network. And then from there, they actually also help schedule the appointments with them at the hospital facilities. So it's a very complete navigation process to make sure that the women get exactly what they need. And so again, a couple of the hospitals that we have is just dependent on how close you are. So we have a map with our system to verify what will be closest to you, what will be easiest to you, and we have a bilingual navigator and English, and it's sectioned off by areas. So whatever is closest to you, we help make sure that you can get to those hospitals. Oftentimes women also can't reach those hospitals because they don't have transportation, but we also help you make sure you get those transportations, whether it is getting you bus passes or whatever it is to help you get to those appointments. Now, another thing our facility does is quality data. So our part of our consortium side reads and collects data to see what facilities are keeping up with the correct guidelines and what facilities aren't, in order to collect all that data. And we actually have another caller on the line.
Hello.
Hi, caller, what's your question?
Great show. I just wondered, what kind of services does Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force offer to men who are in this risk group as well? Because men do sometimes get breast cancer as well. I'll get off the phone and let you answer. Thanks.
Okay. So actually some of the resources we offer are just basically navigating them to different facilities that help them get insurance. Most of our resources, unless the men need mammogram screenings, then we don't have a lot of resources for them. But if men do get cancer, so 1 in every 100 men get cancer diagnoses. And actually, I'm gonna turn over to our guest, who is Minerva, who works for the ABCD program. And Minerva, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Hi, my name is Minerva Cornejo, and I'm the program specialist at ABCD after breast cancer diagnosis. And what we do at our program is we support women who have breast cancer and their loved ones, because everybody who knows someone going through breast cancer might need some kind of support. So what we offer is one-to-one mentoring, and that one-to-one mentoring is usually done by a breast cancer survivor who has had a similar diagnosis and treatment. That way they can support them by having similar experiences. And the other thing that we do is we offer a helpline, and that helpline is answered by breast cancer survivors. That way we can offer that immediate support, that one-to-one support. And another thing that we do is we offer trainings, a few trainings a year, and that's how mentors can become involved.
Okay, just again, if you have any questions, you can call 312-738-1060, and that's to call us live and ask if you have any questions. So Minerva, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And so tell us a little bit more about your mentoring program. Who gets to be in this mentoring program, and what are the qualifications?
Okay, well, basically anyone who is a breast cancer survivor can become a mentor, or anyone who has supported someone going through breast cancer. For example, if you're a mother and you had, supported your daughter going through breast cancer, you can become a mentor. If you're a husband who supported his wife going through breast cancer, you can become a mentor. So basically, it can be anyone who supported someone with breast cancer or a survivor.
Okay, so what motivated the start of this program?
Well, Melody Wilson, she was a news reporter who realized that the support in the Milwaukee area was, back in the 80s, was not that support that we have currently. Back then in the 80s, the support was very limited. So she realized, being a news broadcaster, that once she came out in the open, and she was one of the first people back in, during that time to come up in the open about her experience, she realized that there was such a need for people who have breast cancer to turn to someone for that support. So what she did was, she knew that support was important, and she came up with ABCD, and 16 years later, here we are.
Okay, so how can you guys be found or reached, or where are you located?
We're located in Glendale, Wisconsin, but about 2 years ago, we went nationwide, so we do have mentors in different areas. Currently, we are in the Glendale area, but if you want to become involved, we do have mentor trainings available. And actually, as a matter of fact, we're having one in Chicago at St. Anthony's Hospital the week of July 30th and 31st. But we also have different training dates throughout the year. Usually they're in the Milwaukee area, but we have had trainings in different areas, such as San Antonio, Chicago. So we do have, different trainings throughout the year.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the training. How long does it take? How often is it? What does it take to get into the training program?
The training program is usually about 2 days. So what we do is we offer different courses like Breast Cancer 101, so the person going through training can actually understand it. And then we do have either doctors or nurses, so it's always a professional doing the trainings, and that training is pretty intense, but then we offer that support that the participant might need when calling the helpline, for example, such as the importance of listening skills, and just offering that support.
Okay, perfect. So in terms of becoming a member, what other qualifications do you take into consideration?
Basically, it's just if you're interested in becoming a mentor, if you have been touched by breast cancer, you can become a mentor, because we do offer the mentoring by the mentors who can either be breast cancer survivors or, like I said, someone who supported like a loved one. So there is such a need, and especially men get diagnosed with breast breast cancer, and people don't really talk about or know that. So the importance of, early detection and awareness, all that falls into play. But if you've been touched by breast cancer, you can become a mentor.
Okay, so is your mentoring program person to person, over the phone, or what are the different ways that you can talk to the mentor?
The different ways you can talk to the mentor is we offer our helpline where you can call, and I will give you that number. So we have our phone number, which is 414-977-1780. That is our office number, and I'm going to leave this with you. We also have our 1-800 number, which is 1-800-977-4121. And if you call that number, that is our helpline, and a breast cancer survivor will answer the phone. And if you need to follow up with a mentor for that one-to-one match program, they can forward you on to like myself or my colleague, and we're the ones that do the matching. So that number again is 1-800-977-4121, and that is our helpline. So that is our support offered by Helpline Mentors, and the other program is our one-to-one support. So if you are interested in getting connected with a mentor, you could call, let someone know that you are interested in getting connected with a survivor, and we will do the intake process and get you connected with someone who had a similar experience based on diagnosis and treatment.
Okay, so do you have mentors around the country, around the state? Like how accessible are these mentors?
Well, we do have mentors in many different states. Most of them are here in Wisconsin because we were local for many years before becoming nationwide. But we do have mentors in California, we have mentors in Arizona, we have mentors in San Antonio, we have mentors in the Illinois area. So we do have mentors all over, but the majority of them are in Wisconsin.
Okay. And then is this program free?
Yes, this program is free, and we offer that one-to-one support. So if you know anyone in need that is looking for support going through breast cancer, we are free. We're a nonprofit organization, and the services are free of charge.
Okay, so besides the hotline, can you meet person to person, or are there other groups?
Well, what ends up happening is once you establish the relationship with the mentor, you can decide with the mentor what your relationship is going to be. Sometimes women are looking for that one-to-one support and they just want a couple questions answered, and it might just be one phone call. But other times what ends up happening is they want the relationship to move a little further, and sometimes the support can be a couple months. And we've even had a lot of situations where there's so many similarities with the participant and the mentor that they end up becoming friends. We have a story where one of our mentors ended up meeting with the participant for some coffee, and they ended up realizing they went to the same high school. So they took their yearbooks with them, and they were in their 70s. So their yearbooks were from 1950s, and they had that connection and developed a friendship. So sometimes it's really cool. We always say that the stars align sometimes for these connections to happen.
Nice. That's very amazing that you can create those connections. So how often does a mentee stay with their mentor?
Well, sometimes it can be, a couple weeks, a couple months, and we've had some mentors that keep relationship for years. What ends up happening is when we do follow-up to see how the match has gone, we just ask how it's going, and they're like, oh, it's going well, I'm still mentoring so-and-so, but you can close the match with so-and-so because, we're friends and we see each other for coffee every now and then, so sometimes the relationship turns into a friendship. So it does happen, and it's cool to see when it does.
That's so great. So how many languages do you have these mentors in?
Well, right now our mentors are English speaking. There is a need for more bilingual mentors, but if anyone calls and does not speak English or Spanish, we do have a translation service, so we take any calls because we want to support everyone.
Great. Okay. So then this upcoming training session, it is particularly targeted towards what population?
It's targeted for bilingual individuals because there is such a need for Spanish-speaking mentors. However, our training has always been done in English. So, in the future, we do plan on having a Spanish-only training. However, for the time being, we do know that there is a need for Spanish-speaking. So we would like to recruit more bilingual mentors who can be able to do the training in English and, do the support in Spanish. So if anyone is interested in becoming a mentor and is bilingual, if they want to call ABCD, and we can certainly follow up with them.
Okay, and then when is this training session?
This training session is on July 30th and 31st. It is at St. Anthony's Hospital here in Chicago. And if someone is interested in doing the training, they can call our office. Right now the dates were tentative because we're trying to get a certain number to do the training. However, the dates that we had it scheduled is for July 30th and 31st. So if there's anyone that is bilingual that can do the training in English and is interested in becoming a mentor, we would love to hear from you. Or if there's anyone who's only English speaking that wants to become a mentor, the training will be done in English. So please give us a call if you're interested in our program. And like I said, it's free, and I think that it's very rewarding when we can give back to the community. And I really think that it's an awesome organization.
Okay, and so how long is this training session?
The training session is 2 days. It's July 30th and the 31st, and it's a couple hours each day. During the daytime, about 4 hours, I believe, on the first day, and another 4 hours on the second day. And it did require a 4-hour training previously, but if you guys give us a call, we can see how we can get that set up to do the training ahead of time before the actual dates, which is July 30th and 31st.
Okay. So besides this 31st July date, what other training sessions do you hold, or how often do you hold these training sessions?
We usually hold them about 2 to 3 times a year. We have had them in different locations. Last year we did a training in San Antonio, and then we do a training in Glendale. So usually they are in the Wisconsin area. So you guys are in Chicago, you guys are close by. We did have a training last year at Zion, at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Okay.
So we do have trainings in the Illinois area, and maybe there will be one next year. So if you guys are interested in training in Illinois, and we do have one coming up, please give us a call.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit more about the other resources that you offer. So you offer the telephone hotline and this upcoming training session, but are there any other resources that you offer towards cancer patients?
Well, what we do is when the calls come through, we try to support you with whatever you might be dealing with at that time. Sometimes it's you don't know what to do. After a breast cancer diagnosis, it can be a time where people's minds are like foggy and they don't know where to turn. And in the Hispanic community, we also tend that people seem to be a little bit more closed and reserved about their diagnosis. So we get it. And what ends up happening is once you connect with a breast cancer survivor, that person would have already experienced something similar. And then we do an intake process where we get the information and find out what the needs really are. Because sometimes people might call thinking, well, I don't know what to do. And in reality, once we listen to the, go on with the conversation, we realize that this person might be in need of financial assistance. This person might not have no support in the home, or this person might just need someone to talk to on those emotional needs. So we try to assess the, what their needs are, and we do have resources. So once we see what those needs are, if the person might need financial assistance, we'll gear them in other areas where we can get them connected with that financial assistance that, they might need, or other resources that might be in their area. Sometimes we do, searches. We do have a national resource list. So we try to get participants connected with whatever their needs are to make sure that their journey is one that, we might help them navigate and become their own advocate, ask the right questions. So we just try to support them with whatever can help them in the future.
Okay, perfect. So why don't you give them your information one more time, so so they have it. And I'll pull it up also on the computer for you.
Okay. So if anyone is interested in registering for the training or calling our helpline, that number is area code 414-977 4121. Again, that's 414-977-4121. That number is our helpline, as well as using that number to register for the training. And our local number with ABCD is area code 414-977-1780. And if anyone needs to be if anyone needs the services in Spanish, they can call and ask for Minerva. That will be me, and I'll be more than happy to connect with you.
Okay, so with all this great work that you do, how did you get started with working with ABCD?
Oh, well, the reason sometimes you never know what a breast cancer diagnosis will do to you. Well, I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 38 years old. I was very young. And having gone through it, I didn't really seek support because I didn't know what was really out there. And looking back, I wish I would have maybe reached out. There are wonderful organizations that are doing wonderful things, such as, ABCD. So what I ended up doing was realizing that there was such a need, and I ended up becoming an advocate in the community, talking to women about the importance of early detection. I myself was diagnosed at age 38. I have a very strong family history, so I always am thankful that I knew what my family history was, because that allowed me to become proactive in my health. So what I said, you know what, if I can use my voice to give back to the community, why not? So I ended up volunteering with another organization, and one thing led to another. I interviewed with ABCD and seen what wonderful things they were doing and offering support to people going through breast cancer. So I thought that I'd give it a shot, and here I am. So my breast cancer journey took me to ABCD.
Well, it's great that you're doing such great work now. So how long have you been with ABCD?
I've been with ABCD since 2013, and I was diagnosed in 2011, so about 3 years.
Okay. Well, Minerva, thank you so much for being on the show with us. Again, if you want to contact the Breast Cancer Task Force, you can visit our website at chicagobreastcancer.org, or you can contact us at 312-942-3368, or you can visit our email address and send us an email at info@chicagobreastcancer.org. And then thank you again so much.
Thank you for having us.